What you gonna do about it?
3, 2, 1.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hey. Like, how am I supposed to
3,
know?
2, 1.
What you gonna do about it?
Nothing.
The views in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests, not the Yolanda Monyai brand. The content is for informational and entertainment purposes only, and we make no guarantees about its accuracy, reliability, or suitability.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my Spotify channel and YouTube channel. Today, I have our everything. He does everything, this guy. Literally. If you thought you couldn't do anything, please ask Tino. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. Please tell me about your fit. I can't wait.
Come on now. Tiani Africa Winter Collection. It's actually a couple of seasons old, but I mean,
Really?
It's timeless. Yeah, I've actually had this maybe like 2-3 years.
Really?
It's only been like 2-3 years, but the one thing about great clothing is timeless, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was your latest.
Nah. Our latest stuff is crazy. Like, this was us just getting started.
This is gorgeous.
I think if anything, this was actually me finding my feet, if I'm being completely honest, when I was first like making steps into fashion and saying, okay, this is something that I genuinely love and I'm passionate about. These were some of my first designs that I came up with, yeah.
That's actually and it looks, newish from the box.
If there's one thing you must never compromise, it's on your fabric. I feel like if you always have great fabric, like durable fabric, then the garment can last a lot longer. I'm not big on fast fashion. I'm not on your Shein clothing. It lasts 2 minutes and it's gone.
Hey, leave us on Shein.
It must last. It must last. 100%.
No, that is actually very good quality. Because when you entered here, I was like, what? Can I have it?
Nah, we're working with a lot.
No,
and when are you coming to model for us?
Sorry?
When are you coming to model for
right?
us?
I'm going to go.
That's the only next logical step.
Very, very soon. You must let me know.
No,
I'll be there.
Definitely.
I'll be there.
Ring.
It's easy.
Ring.
It's too easy.
Nah,
say
definitely.
someone I know.
Yes.
Okay, so I invited you to come and just share your knowledge with us newcomers, in the situation. So I had someone here the last time. I think it was Pesically, yes.
Yeah.
She was actually very confused about doing everything in the industry.
Okay.
And you do literally everything.
Yeah.
Music, acting, presenting, clothing brand, modeling. Yeah. How did you manage to be able to do all of these things?
I think the truth
and make it.
Thank you for that. I think more than anything, the truth is growth. I've always been somebody that I get bored very quickly, if I'm being completely honest. So I remember for me to come into the industry, I came in as a model, and as much as I enjoyed modeling, a beautiful platform to express myself, to show who I am and what I'm capable of, I just felt like it was a little bit limiting, especially because I always wanted people to not just see me but hear me, especially because I always felt like I had a lot of value in the things that I had to say, and I just wanted to be able to express that. And I feel like that's when TV came into play, because TV made sense for me, because then I could share my opinions, my values, and everything that I felt was genuinely useful to the conversation. And that's when TV came into play. And then coming from TV, it's one of those things that modeling was always something that was recurring, but it was just something that I didn't rely on anymore. It was just something that I would dabble in when I have the time for it, and which I still really do love doing. I love being on set, and being on set is something that I always see myself doing, regardless of all the other avenues that I take in life. And then for me, once TV came into play, I found something that I genuinely gravitated, and I genuinely see myself being on TV for the rest of my life and doing things and productions and even being behind the scenes of TV. And those are things that I'm genuinely passionate about, and I just always want to do. Music is something that has always resonated with me. I've always been somebody that's very passionate about love, storytelling, and I feel like even to be African is to tell stories, and I feel like music is the best possible avenue to do that. And I feel like I'm very blessed to be around the team that I have, around the people that I'm around, the producer, shout out to Sound God. It's all of these different individuals that have helped to nurture. So I think what makes navigating this industry easier is if you've got teams of people that you work with. And that's why when it comes to fashion, these are the people that I like to associate myself, and this is where I grow and build with the fashion community This is where I'm at with the music. And then with modeling, I still have my bruise that I still have heavy communication with. And I think that once you break it down like that and you learn to compartmentalize the different things that you're doing in the different spaces, it becomes a lot easier to navigate, because then you always know where you should be at what time and with who. And then once you can get that right, it's water.
So it is advisable to have different team for different stuff that you're doing.
For me, I would say that it's relative. I would say if you've got, like for instance, modeling and TV, I feel like it's always advisable to have a great booking agent. I think that makes your life a lot easier. If you've got a great agent behind you, you don't necessarily have to have so much a team, because they're already the teams that have been established. It's just about signing with the best that you see also would best fit your brand or best fit the personality you're trying to invoke. And then with music, 100%, you need a team with music. You need somebody that's helping you with PR, helping you with the visuals, helping you with actually composing and getting studio time. It's all of those kind of things that you need to break down and see how the different industries work. And once you figure out how the different industries work, it's a lot easier to navigate, because then you understand what and who you need in your team to make it work. Yeah.
How long have you been in the industry?
Excuse my language.
It's okay. We have the PG there.
100%. It's 2025. So this actually marks 10 years. It actually marks 10 years in the industry. Because I started 2015. I was still on campus when I started modeling, funny enough. And it marks 10 years in the industry and still rocking.
You're still in campus 2015?
So I was still on campus 2015. I was studying a double major in marketing and management, actually. And to be honest, being in the industry was never something I thought about. Like, it was just something that I had seen. But I was always an athlete. Like, I always loved to play sports. So I grew up playing basketball, playing a lot of rugby. So for me, those are the things that naturally I always wanted to do. And I've got black parents, they weren't trying to hear that. They were like,
I know.
You're going to go to school, you're going to get a degree, finish. You're going to finish, and then you're going to see what you want to do. And, just to honor them, I did that, But honestly speaking, the industry chose me. And ever since, it's been a beautiful love story. I can't lie to you, yeah?
And then how do you stay relevant? Because I've never heard... You just went va, and then you remained. How did you?
I think the truth of it is you have to be genuinely authentic. I feel like a lot of people are very see-through because of the fact that they're not authentic. Like, I feel like some people develop a persona to fit in the narrative, or to feel a part of the crowd of industry, or whatever you might want to call it. But I feel like genuinely, if you are authentic and passionate about the spaces you apply yourself into, these things come naturally to you. And beyond them coming naturally to you, it's a hunger to always keep chasing a better version of you. I feel like to be a part of the industry means to be a creative. I feel like if I don't know anyone that's in the industry that I wouldn't call a creative. And I feel like as a creative, you should always be looking for different avenues to express yourself, your personality, different views, and just showcase what is beautiful about yourself and the places and the spaces that you're in. So once you can develop that kind of mindset to say, I always want to be more and do more, I feel like naturally more will come to you, because you have to just keep challenging yourself to always say, I want to try something that I've never tried before, but because I'm passionate about it, I'm willing to do the little work, the hard work, and whatever else in between to make sure I get to the point where I can see my vision being articulated. And I think that's just the truth of my life. The relevant part, I don't big on stunts. I don't believe in it. Nah, if you are the person you say you are, the things that you want will just naturally come to you.
Yeah. Can you please give us advice, people from Big Brother? And when I say people from Big Brother, because I'm from there.
Yeah.
So mostly they come and go.
100%.
Or we come and go.
100%.
And you get to a point where the whole world is literally talking about you.
But
then 2 years down the line, no one is talking about you.
You're gone.
You know? That's it. And everyone gets an opportunity to be in your space and make sure that something happens there for them.
Yeah.
But what advice would you give someone like that? Me, personally.
Do you know what's so funny? I love that you brought that up. When I compare Big Brother fame as opposed to any other kind of fame or naturally taking those steps, I feel like Big Brother fame is like an episode of I Blew It. And why? and I'm not joking. And let me tell you why I say
yeah.
that. And let me tell you why I say this. I feel like genuinely Big Brother fame it's overnight. You know what I'm saying? It's instant. It's literally you do the 2 month, 1 month, whatever spread you do
You went
in
there
the house.
and no one, and then
You went there's no one,
everyone
and then everyone. You haven't developed the character, the skills, the talent, the network, let alone the mental capacity to handle the fame and what comes with the fame.
Yeah.
And I feel like why I'm comparing it to an episode of I Blew It, because it's the same thing with instant money. You'll never know how to manage instant money because you haven't developed the character, the skills, the patience, and the mentality to manage it and not articulate it, but to grow it. And that's why I feel like a lot of people from Big Brother, they don't end up becoming more, because I feel like the one thing you need to say as well when you come onto Big Brother is, once you're in the house, where am I going from here? Like, what am I doing from here? Because genuinely, that needs to be the conversation if you want to be anything beyond just that person that was on Big Brother. I feel like you need to find a lane where you can say, this is something I'm genuinely passionate about, and this is what I want to be known from since Big Brother, because you've already got the platform, you've already got the viewership. Now I feel like you need to now develop that into some sort of talent and or skill that you can give beyond Big Brother. And I feel like if you do that, then you guys, like, Big Brother is the best jumpstart into the industry, I feel like, because of exactly what you said, the numbers, the viewership and everything. But it's just about learning how to articulate yourself beyond that and developing the networks, resources, and mindset to balance that, because fame is a devil. Like, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. It's one thing to live your life, and I would never say a little life, but your peaceful life, in the sense that you don't have that natural curiosity on you, and those people that are just always edging to see what's going on in your life. So I feel like once you have that on you, it becomes very difficult, because also mentally we're human. So always naturally you're going to have this thing in the back of my mind that people are watching. But you have to condition your mind to say that I am who I am, even if people are watching. And if you can do that, then you can do anything, you know?
But then what do you think is the mistake we make as Big Brother people? Like, from your observation from far.
Yeah.
What do you think is like that one mistake that we make?
Okay, because because none of them carve out a career in the industry after Big Brother. Because think about it. A lot of the Big Brother stars don't end up in acting, or they don't end up as presenters, or they don't end up making music. They just end up being like a personality, but with no real lane that they fall into, if that makes sense. Do you get me? Yeah, so that's my thing with Big Brothers. They end up being a personality with no platform to carry their personality.
Right.
So that's my observation of the Big Brother stars. Yeah, you're this person and you're this brand now, but what are you besides that? Like, what do you do? Why should we listen to you? Why should we pay attention to you? What is it about your personality that sparkles, that we genuinely gravitate to? And I feel like a lot of the Big Brother stars don't learn to develop that aspect of their character, and that's why it never really develops into anything beyond that. Yeah.
Yeah, ne?
From my observation. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on it.
So it would be advisable to have something, for example, like you get an acting agency,
100%.
and then you jump into
and
acting.
you jump into it. You
or
get
then
the coach.
Yes.
Hey.
And then you jump into presenting right away, or you jump into music maybe right after.
Because you know the thing is about life, and one thing I've come to realize about the industry is pure momentum. This thing is about momentum. Don't stop. Keep and one of my good friends, Gibbs, said this to me yesterday. Doesn't matter how slow it gets. Keep the doors open. Don't ever close yourself off to what you're doing and where you're going and the vision that you have to yourself. Keep the doors open in the sense of don't close business. Keep moving, even when it's slow, even when it doesn't make sense, even when no one is supporting you. But by virtue of the fact that you're coming off of Big Brother, you already have a lot of support. You have already a lot of people that now instantly love you. Use that to advantage, because that is your fan base ultimately. And one thing I've come to realize as a personality, as an artist, as anybody really, if you can always keep your fan base happy and the people that you say are your people, then how can you lose? You know what I'm saying? My little 2 cents on it.
No, your little 2 cents are very own. Me, I like learning, and I like learning from people who have lived where I want to go. You understand? And probably you guys had like bumps and whatever, and you learned it this way, and then you tried this, didn't work, and then you went there and you did this. And so it's always advisable to learn. My dad used to say that learn from other people's mistakes
100%.
so that you don't have to like
You don't have to go
do the
through
same
it.
mistake. I
genuinely
mean, you just
don't.
see it and be like, oh, that one is wrong. Let me just
And that's the thing. Make sure you have great mentorship in this industry. Make sure you've
Okay.
got good role models. All of the people that I can say are doing extremely well in the industry have had some sort of mentorship along the line. Because truthfully speaking, as I said, fame is a devil. It's very difficult to know how to navigate it if you've never also been around somebody that can tell you 1 and 2 is wrong. There's going to be these sort of things that happen on these days and at these parties that you need to stay away from, and these kind of situations and these kind of contracts I would avoid. Those little instances, as you said, be teachable. And the thing of fame and having that star power is sometimes we become very arrogant.
I've
And
seen
unfortunately, it's and I say this from experience because it's very difficult to sometimes now manage all of this attention that's suddenly on you. It's very now, you start to gravitate into this thinking of the world revolves around me. And you got to be very careful of that thinking, because that is literally where your downfall starts to accelerate. And that's why you got to be so careful that you have to be teachable. You have to be able to listen, because half of the time, if, as I said, and we had this conversation off air, that if you've got good people around you, the way I look at good people, to me, good people doesn't mean, no, we go out and turn up together. We look good together. If we partying, no, that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day, genuinely. I feel like if you really get to a point in life where you're conscious, the good people around you should be the ones that should be able to tell you even when you're wrong. They should be the ones to call you out and tell you, yo, this way you moving like this, and I've seen the way you do 1 and 2. I don't think you should do it like that. Also, me on my part, I'm holding myself accountable for the fact that I also am learning to do this, because it's very easy to become a hypocrite and just always tell people, let alone be told. But you have to have that balance of, one, who's telling me, is it coming from a good place? Is it coming from a place of love? Because you can always hear it. I feel like we can always hear the tone in which somebody's trying to tell you something, And you have to also be discerning to the fact of, okay, is this person trying to tell me from a place of love and they're trying to help me be better? And when that person comes along, listen, it's not difficult. And I promise you, if you can do that early in your career and learn to have that teachable spirit as you grow, you won't have a ceiling, because that means you can only get better. Because I don't feel like, as anybody in life, no matter if you're an OG, a legend, Oscar winner, Grammy winner, I feel like there's always a little bit more you can learn. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just about being open to the fact that life is ever evolving. And as long as you're open to it, you will evolve too.
Yeah, that's very, very, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about fatherhood.
Ooh,
I mean, we were
the
doing
best
Father's
hood.
Day.
The best hood.
Please tell me
yeah.
about that situation. How has your life changed now?
I feel
you
like,
know?
and I'm never shy to say, fatherhood is the best thing that ever happened to me. I feel like mentally, emotionally, even love, my understanding of love, what it means to love, what it means to be patient in love, what it means to genuinely give of yourself selflessly in love. And as I can say, you literally do learn unconditional love when you have kids. You literally look at them and there's like, I will stick by you through anything that you ever do, and just know that I always got your back. And to be honest, like, it's given me a grounding that I can't take away. It's always so funny, like when I'm online, I always see these posts of, oh, I'm so happy I don't have kids and I'm at this age, and I'm like, you're so happy, but you're only happy because you don't know what you're missing on. Like, if I'm being completely honest, you're only as happy because you're ignorantly in bliss. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. Doesn't mean everybody that doesn't have kids, go have kids now so that you can know what it's like. No, I'm not rushing you, bro. I am not rushing anyone. But it's just a genuine thing of, man, like, I live for them. They gave me meaning. They gave a bigger meaning to my life, I've always been big on family. Anybody that knows me, that I'm a big person that stands on family over everything. Because at the end of the day, who are we outside of the legacy that we leave for our kids? I feel like, and also true say that in the same light, your kids are your biggest trophies in your life. Like, truly, the way they turn out, the way they treat people, the way they go out into the world and make an impact and add value to other people's lives. For me to see my son so generous, so kind, so loving to everyone that's around him, so thoughtful, for me, it's like, actually, I might be doing something a little bit right in this life. If everything else is going wrong, as long as me and him, and I can see that he's becoming the man that I would have loved to see myself or be a younger brother or bigger brother to, I'm proud of where he's going. And for me personally, my kids are my everything. Like everybody knows that about me, that I live for them. I really do live for them.
Can't touch me, can't touch my kids.
Hey, we go to war today, now, instantly, like it's over. So it's just that love, man. Like I feel like as you grow through life, you understand deeper depths of love through relationships, friendships. And I just feel like kids is that limitless source of knowledge and wisdom that you can grow and learn from. Because your life changes, and it does change for the better. Don't get me wrong. There are sleepless nights. There are days when you get exhausted and drained. But if you really do see the lessons in everything that's happening, it's just a part of life, and that's what makes it matter. That's why it makes sense. Yeah.
I was actually having a debate with this guy, and then he was saying that Father's Day is not really celebrated enough.
Agreed.
Compared to Mother's Day. Okay, you also agree.
I also
Please
agree.
explain why.
I feel like it's because of the relationships people have had with their fathers. I mean, if we're looking genuinely in the context of, let's say, South Africa, for instance, as a case study, just as a case study, a lot of people came up in single parent homes, if we're being honest. A lot of people are a result of broken homes. A lot of people are a result of their fathers walking
Not
out on
being
their
there.
families completely. So when we think of the word father, unfortunately, a lot of people might not have the same love and joy we think of when we think of our fathers. And that's just the truth. Like some of them have had abusive fathers, and some of them, as I said, have just had absent fathers altogether. And I feel like that's what's played a part in why Father's Day isn't celebrated as much, because not everyone has had a good experience with fathers. And similarly, so even with mothers, but I feel like with fathers is to a greater degree. And that also stems from the fact that men play a part in that. I feel like if men were more responsible, showed up for their families, if you're making kids, you better be responsible for them. Because I get it, relationships break apart all the time. But it doesn't mean that even if the relationship is to break apart, that you abandon the kids too. Like, I don't get that. And it's something that when I've spoken to people that come from broken homes, a lot of the time the conversation is my mom and my dad broke up, and then that's when he kind of broke up with me too. And I was like, damn, that's painful, because you end up carrying that guilt and that resentment of, was it my fault? Was it, there's all of those unanswered questions. And I think it's just from a lack of genuine closure as to why would he do that when I was so young, when I was so defenseless. And that's why I think Father's Day is not celebrated as much, because some people just genuinely don't have great relationships with the word and their fathers. So
Yo, I mean, I get to be a little bit touched when it comes to that situation, because yes, there are situations where other fathers did whatever.
yeah,
But we also have fathers that were there.
100%.
For example, my parents separated when I was 7.
Okay.
And my mom left with us. But then the following day, my dad came and fetched us.
You see now.
Because he knew that wherever she was going, she didn't have a place to stay. She was not working. And then he took us and he raised us himself. I
That's
was
beautiful.
one person that he actually raised through and through, because So when I see that on Father's Day, I get a little bit, because I feel like, what about the good ones? Okay?
Exactly.
Why can't we then do it for? Because we do have dads. I mean, you one of the dads, who's like
100%.
there.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe we can fight, but then celebrate the ones that are good.
100%. And I feel like in everything, we must never use blanket statements as men are all bad or women are all terrible, because we can't now blame the entire population for the actions of some. You know what I'm saying? And in some instances, many. But the truth is, I just genuinely feel comes back to how we were raised. I feel like if the home, because I feel like all of us at the end of the day are just a product of of our homes and the places that we come from and the places that we've been. We will never be more than sometimes the things that we have learned. And unfortunately, I've noticed with boys especially, and women to a certain degree, that we learn from what we see. So if I, in my home, and I'm a boy, and I see my father growing up and he opens the door for my mom, he treats her kindly, he kisses her in the morning, there's acts of kindness, there's acts of service, I'm naturally going to become that kind of person because that's what I know. And similarly, so unfortunately, some people grew up in abusive homes where the father's abusive and there's GBV is a problem, or there's alcohol and drug abuse. It's very hard to uncondition your mind, especially because in your formative years as a child, as a ntwana, those are the years where you're learning the most. So unfortunately, so you're
Yes.
going to pick up on everything that I look at my kids and their eyes are always so open when I'm around doing my thing. I can see that they're learning, he's studying me. And for me, I'm like, damn, this is actually kind of a responsibility because that means I have to watch. It's the small things. Do I swear in the house? Like I've consciously had to tone down on swearing because I realize he's listening. Because then if he starts swearing, I can't blame the world. I can't blame his teachers. I got to blame myself because he learned it in the home. So it's that kind of love that needs to be conditioned from a young age and through the homes we are associated into, because if we come from spaces of love, it's very easy to carry that love into the world. And similarly so, I feel like you can also relate to this. It's so easy to see when somebody doesn't come from a home of love because the way they act, the way they treat people is genuine reflection of the home that they come from. It is rare, and you do have those people that are outliers, but for the most part, you're always, and if not usually, a product of your environment until you learn to uncondition things that you've learned.
Yeah. Someone did say that when you are young, Vele, you actually learn a lot of things there. That's why it's very important. If you maybe, let's say, for example, you don't have money and you want to take your kid to a very good school, take them when they're young.
Exactly.
And then you can move them high school.
100%.
They've already learned and nothing is going to stop them.
Because it's those little things. It's the confidence. It's the open-mindedness. It's seeing kids of other races interacting in a positive space. Guys, let me tell you, you can't put a price on that. Because I feel like, how to say this? I feel like certain environments can keep you very close-minded if you let them. And that's why I feel like it's always good to expose your kids to as much as you possibly can. There was this one day, I was in an Uber, and the Uber driver said to me, no, he was taking his madam and his kid to Harties for the day, just by the water. And I'm like, good on you, because you don't get what it does for that little kid to go back to school and be like, oh no, this weekend me and my dad, we went out, we had a bride there by Harties by the water, we went fishing, we went on a boat ride. For them, that opens their mind to the world. He's now thinking, hey, one day, what if I want to own boats? What if I want to go and own property by the water? It's those kind of things that condition your mind and condition your child to see the world in a bigger space. I remember the one thing I never used to understand my dad doing when I was a kid, probably like 5, 6, 7, 8 at the time, not even 5, maybe I don't remember that young. I probably like 6, 7, 8, when I was still very young. He used to do this thing of he would drive me around very rich neighborhoods. Yeah, and we'd just be in the car and we just drive around the neighborhood and just look at the houses. And then I didn't realize until I got older that he was conditioning my mind to think bigger.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. This is what it can be as long as you apply yourself. And it's those kind of lessons that if you teach them young enough, like your child naturally develops that confidence when they go out into the world to be more.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about mental health.
Mental health. I love this topic because, and I love that you're bringing this up, like even the context of it. Because last week I reached burnout. Like, you know, when you get to that point where you can genuinely say, I'm exhausted. Like, I've been working myself to the bone. I've tried to be present for friends. I've tried to be present for family as much as I can emotionally be capable of. And I'm exhausted. I'm genuinely tired, and it's I pray that people always go and find out what burnout feels like and what the symptoms of burnout are. Please always make sure that you're checking up on your mental, emotional, and physical health, guys. I feel like we need to remember that we are the only version of ourselves we're ever going to have.
Exactly.
We can't somehow take our soul and our spirit out of our body and put it into another body that's fresh and active. So please always make sure that if you need to stop, reset, refocus, and just rest, do that for yourself, because the world isn't going anywhere. And I promise you, that job will hire somebody else tomorrow when you go crazy. That partner will leave you for somebody else when you lose your mental. So don't lose yourself. You only got one of you. I always say that you got to take care of your star player, because that's the only person you're ever going to be with for the rest of your life. Until your final day, you're only going to be with you. So make sure you're taking care of you before you start taking care of situations, work before you, because I promise you, once you break down and once you burn out, it's harder to recharge and get back to, because you actually lose a bit of yourself when you burn out. And I was lucky, and I thank God, because I was surprised with a little weekend getaway to the beach, and and it was so funny because it only hit me how tired I was once I got there. And I was like, damn, actually I'm not okay. And actually, I do need this time to just wake up at 6 a.m. and just go sit by the beach and pray, because I'm not where I need to be, but I'm still working towards where I'm trying to go. So it's all of those things where I really just had to sit with myself and sit with God and say, Lord, you can see my heart, you can see where I'm at, and you see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying, but I'm also struggling. But thank you for these 3-4 days where I can just genuinely sit with you and just have that silence and just have that noise cancellation of being in the city and being around all of these people. And it doesn't mean that you have to go to the beach all the time to do that. You can go to the church and do that. You can go back to your parents' house and do that. You can go back to your group of friends that help you feel like yourself again. And I just pray that we always just make sure we're always taking care of self, like above and beyond anything. No matter how crazy this life gets, make sure that you're always taking care of self, because there'll come a day when you don't have anybody but you to depend on. Make sure that on those days you're strong too.
But then why do you think guys don't really talk much about their problems?
It's toxic. It starts with that little saying when we're kids, boys don't cry. Just boys don't cry. You must just be tough. Anything that boys don't cry. Nah, why, and it's toxic. It really is toxic, because what you're telling them is that they can't express their emotions. And I feel like a lot of men struggle in society to express their emotions in a healthy manner.
In a healthy manner.
In a healthy manner.
Yeah.
In a healthy manner.
Because there is a healthy manner.
There is a healthy manner. And one thing I'm practicing, if I genuinely have a disgruntlement with somebody, I don't address it immediately. Unless it's pure disrespect, then I'm going to address it immediately. But unless it's pure disrespect, in the moment, I'll literally take in what you've said, let the punches hit, and be like, okay, I'm going to sit with myself and I'm going to write down everything and why I feel like me and you are not on the same page and why there's tension and why I'm in this situation. I'm going to write those things down, and I'm going to take away the emotions of why I feel emotional, because I feel like sometimes what gents get wrong, and I feel like this is the main cause of GBV and main cause of femicide, because men are confronted with difficult emotions and they don't know how to express it. So for instance, hypothetically, you cheat on me.
You mean the girlfriend?
My girlfriend.
Or the wife?
Yeah, you have,
Okay.
yes, your girlfriend or wife. My girlfriend or wife cheats on
For
me.
example, guys.
This is an
example.
Just a
Hey,
hypothetical.
before they jump,
Yeah,
I know.
before they jump. This is a hypothetical. My wife or my girlfriend cheats on me, because I've always been taught boys don't cry and it damas. You must always be strong and stuff. What you've now teaching them is to compartmentalize and internalize all of those emotions. And I think what we need to teach our boys to do is express those emotions even when they're difficult, And it's one of those things of, you need to just genuinely tell them that it's okay to have negative feelings of emotion, and you can be angry, but because you are angry doesn't mean you lose your cool and you start to engage in an unhealthy manner. You don't now break things. You don't break people. You don't use your words to cut down people. Take what has been said to you. Learn to understand, is this coming from a place of love, or is this person just projecting whatever they're going through too? And learn to take what's been done to you. And unfortunately, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Hold yourself. Even when you're angry. It's very easy to lose your life. It's very easy to lose your future. It's very easy to lose your freedom in a fit of anger. And that's why I say to a lot of gents, and I see it in even some of my friends, anger is genuinely a demon in some of their lives. It's not that you're not talented. It's not that you're not successful in whatever you do. It's not that you are not an amazing person. But anger can diminish and destroy relationships like this if you let it.
And your life.
And your life. And you end up now in regret and guilt because you let your anger take over. And it's such an interesting phenomenon, because even when I look at like the States, because I like to see beyond just what's been happening in my environment, and I see the gun violence in America and the States amongst the black community, and it doesn't make sense to me. Why are you guys so angry for some guys that live a couple of blocks away from you, who are in the same situation as you? You guys are willing to kill each other because, what, beef? Because,
Boo-boo, and that's
like,
it.
boo-boo, and that's it? Like, you can't be killing each other at 21, 19, and 18. You haven't even experienced life. You don't even know what life is, but you're willing to take it. And it comes down, as I said, back to the conditioning. It's in the music. It's in the entertainment. It's in everything that we consume as a people, that we genuinely have to also look at the people that we look up to as our role models, or even the people that are in the limelight, and we say our celebrities. Ask yourself, is this somebody that I align with on values, or do I just enjoy them for the talent? And learn to separate the two, because you end up now following people that are doing all the wrong things, and you can't even discern because you're being conditioned. Naturally, what you put your mind to, what you focus your attention on, you become. I mean, that's just the truth of life. So conditioning, man. Hug your sons at night. Tell them you love them. Tell them it's okay to express their emotions. Coming back to the conversation of mental health and expressing self. You have to learn how to express yourself even when it's not easy. Learn to take your friends aside and be like, I don't think me and you are getting along like this. Maybe if we can communicate in a peaceful manner, tell me what I'm doing wrong and why you're reacting this way. Is there something I also did that might have made you feel this way? Because I feel like if you can have a conversation like that out of love, your relationship will never diminish. I just feel like if a genuine friendship is a genuine friendship, you'll be able to talk to each other and get through things without it becoming animosity, because that's what love is. It's learning to be patient. It's learning to be kind. And it's not always easy, but if you take your time, I promise you it's possible.
Yeah. So meaning everyone does need a therapist.
Everybody needs a therapist. Everybody needs a mentor, a role model. Everybody needs somebody that they can just look at their life and be like, I like your values. I like the way your life has turned out because of your mentality, your kindness, your generosity, your work ethic. You need people in your life that you can study. And I feel like the more you study the people that you want to be like, it's easier to become. And it doesn't mean that you must copy and paste. It means take bits and pieces, knowledge, truth, quotes, books they've written. Take those little pieces and develop you of what people have done and experienced, because that's how we grow as a people, through each other.
I've had this question. People are like, oh, be my mentor. Or maybe someone saying, who is my mentor? And I usually got lost there. And I'm like, what does a mentor do?
Yeah.
Like, let's say you are my mentor, for example.
100%.
What are you supposed to do for me or to me?
Yeah.
And me as a mentor of someone, what do I need to do for that person?
And that's why for me, I've always shied away from being anyone's mentor, because I don't know if I know enough to be somebody's mentor, but they see something in you that they want to be like one day. And I feel like at the core of it, a mentor must be somebody whose values, whose success, and whose genuine life that you actually aspire to.
Okay.
I can, for instance, I can, and that's the thing. Mentorship doesn't always have to be up close. I feel like you can just genuinely watch how certain people live their lives and be mentored just from that. Like I'm a big person of watching.
Okay.
Like you don't always have to be up close, but even in those instances of up close, it comes down to those things. It's values, work ethic, and the success they have in their own life. I don't think you should ever genuinely be mentored by somebody who's not as successful as you'd like to one day be. Because then how can they give you the tools to be successful and have that lifestyle and life if they don't live it? Doesn't make sense, right? How can I ask a bachelor to mentor me on what does it mean to have a genuine and fulfilling relationship and what does it mean to be happily married? I don't go to my bachelor friends for that. I go to my pastor who tells me, yo, you need to do 1, 2, 3, and you need to look at your life as 4, 5, 6 and do and move in a certain way so that it makes sense for you too and also makes sense for your partner, because any great relationship has to be based on value, but more so love, generosity and kindness, all the other beautiful and pretty things, trust and loyalty. But your mentor just genuinely has to be somebody that you see yourself wanting to become like one day. And those things are based off genuine, real things, not social media, not Instagram. But when you meet them and you talk to them, can you feel the love in their conversation? Can you feel the wisdom in their conversation? And can you feel that this person genuinely wants to see you also do well? I feel like if you look for those kind of things in a mentor, you can't go wrong.
Shem, this was supposed to be Loud Wednesdays.
Shem, yo, I'm not a loud person by any means. I got a lot of energy, but yo, no, I'm not loud. So
it's not loud enough.
It's not loud enough, unfortunately. I hope the things I say are loud enough.
No, they are.
Yeah.
That's why I'm listening. Most of the times I'm like, yada, yada. And today I'm like, okay, all right.
100%.
Actually, actually I get it. So tell me about the music you make. What
100%.
genre is it?
I'm a big lover of Afro. Like anybody
Afrobeat?
Afrobeat.
I love Afrobeat.
I love Afrobeats. For me, I used to love the storytelling in hip hop. But then I feel like right now, hip hop is at the worst place it's ever been. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like hip hop right now is, and they don't get me wrong. It's not to say there's not a lot of great artists that are making great music, but as an overall genre, I feel like it's decayed a little bit because of the subject matter. That's really, I feel like it's all drugs, guns, and violence, and
all the time,
and chains, and watches, and
naked women,
Oh my lord, ladies, put on some clothes in the clothes, like. Don't get me wrong. I feel like women used to complain for years. It's the men, they objectify us in the music videos. But then I see some of the artists that you guys praise and I'm like, oh, objectify? Have you seen what they're doing to themselves? Like, what are you? We're clearly not the problem. Like, clearly we're not the problem. So that's where I see the hip hop and I'm like, ooh, hip hop messy. But coming back into the music, Afro beats is so beautiful because I feel like Afro beats, even if you listen to a lot of Afro beats music, they don't swear. They don't even swear.
Yeah,
they don't even swear. They're not bleeping. There's not a lot of bleeps.
My favorite is Ira.
It's Ira. No, I love Ira.
Oh,
but
God.
and can you? The one thing I love about Afro beats music, it's storytelling.
Yeah,
Afro beats people will storytell like it's a movie, like you're watching it. And that's why I've always been a big fan of the Nigerian music industry because one of the investment, they genuinely develop the talent, and two, they give them the platforms, resources, and network to develop their talent globally. So for me, globally, not just to be a local artist. They give you everything, package you perfectly for the global market. And that's why you find today a lot of Afrobeat artists are doing better than your American artists or, your European artists or your Asian artists because, one, they're authentic. And that's what I love about Afrobeat artists. If you actually take the time to listen to the music beyond just the pidgin English and the language barrier. A lot of them are telling stories of their lives, the struggle that they faced, the love that they've experienced, the love that they've lost, the people and the places that they've been that have made them these individuals.
And that's easy to connect
with. It's easy to connect with. Because now you're not just telling me about the flash and the lifestyle. Now you're telling me about the journey of discovery, because I feel like that's what it is. It's a journey of discovery. And even in some of the artists like Ashake, I want to give like really good examples. Davido's a great example as well. And even Burna Boy, Thames Ariastar as well. Like I give props to a lot. Buju, like I give props to a lot of them because the stories they tell in their music are faith, hope, inspiration, trying to make it. I relate to those stories on so many levels, and that's why with me and my music, that's what the same energy I try to invoke. Okay. It's an energy of authenticity, an energy of dance. It's an energy of good energy of everything that I am. And that's what I feel any true artist is. They give of themselves in their music. They give their heart, their soul, the vision, the pain through their music. And that's why I feel like I resonate with music so much. And that's why when there's noise on, I'm quick to turn it off because music speaks to your soul.
Yeah,
I feel like the music you listen to directly influences the life you live and how you interact with people. Because I feel like if you listen to heavy metal in the morning, like you're gonna be angry. Like you're gonna move. Like I don't see. Ain't no way you moving peaceful through your day.
I watched this other video. I think it was rock or something like heavy.
Yeah.
And they were like it's a concert. Yeah. And this guy is performing, but they're fighting each other there. They're punching each other, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? And that is them performing and people responding to.
Yeah. No, it's mad. So for me, it's a thing of you got to just genuinely step back from the music as well and be like, what am I listening to? Like, what am I genuinely listening to? And I'm grateful because even with my parents, a lot of my inspiration, a lot of my taste in music comes from my parents. Growing up listening to Luther Vandross, Sade, the Lighthouse Family, a little Celine Dion, even a little Shaggy. It's all, but they told such beautiful stories in their music, and you could tell that their music came from the heart. Even if they were getting assistance with songwriting or whoever was in the room, it was clear to see that they were in alignment on what was the message for each song, and it resonates. And that's the music that I try to go for when I make my music. I'm going to be dropping a new single right now in July called Delilah, a beautiful story about love.
Delilah.
Yo,
stay away from Delilah.
Stay away from Delilah. Stay away from Delilah.
You will give her all your secrets.
Everything. She will steal your strength. She will steal your strength, my man. So Delilah is
That's not a good
It's no, but it's a story that needs to be told. It's a story that needs to be told.
Hi, Delilah.
And that's Delilah.
They told us to fear her and run.
And trust me, fear a Delilah because she will ruin you, blood. She will. Is this the camera? She will ruin you, blood. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of gents, like, it's good to love. I'm big on love, but make sure you are loving in the right places. Make sure you're loving in the right places, and make sure the love that you chooses you too. Because I feel like, you gotta make sure, and it's those subtle things. Because I feel like somebody that genuinely loves you, there'll always be signs. And sometimes when those signs become red flags, also take those red flags as signs and say,
And
But
people ignore it.
they ignore the red flags. So Delilah is just genuinely that story of, I love you, like I see you. I want to be with you, but...
Okay, at least there's a but. Okay.
If it is detrimental to my well-being,
No.
then I don't need you. Then I genuinely don't need you. I want you, but I don't need you. So the lyrics tell their own story. But Delilah's going to be coming soon. A lot of beautiful music coming this year.
So is it a single or is it an album?
It's a single. This is just a single. I'm big on singles. I feel like give each song time to breathe, and then when you want to give them a project, have a genuine storyline for what your project.
For the whole project.
For the whole project.
So it makes sense.
It makes sense. And I feel like you must never rush yourself with making projects. Like if you want to just take it a single at a time, you want to build up music, do it, because it's your journey. I feel like as an artist, don't ever forget it's your journey. Take a break if you need to, come back if you need to, be consistent because you have to. But genuinely, when it comes to music, grow. Grow, take your time, but keep putting out music because your fans are waiting for something. So I'm trying to tell this to myself as well. Like I need to be more frequent with the music, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We've done the music videos, we've shot the content, the music, the songs are mixed and mastered. It's just now a process of doing rollout after rollout until the music gets to the people. Yeah.
But then, which genre wouldn't you touch?
Which genre wouldn't I?
Besides hip hop, but yeah. Even if like it's something that is like now it's the in thing, you be like, guys, me they
heavy metal.
Everyone is running away from that. Even ladies ever said something like that.
Rock music, heavy metal. That's definitely music I don't ever see myself in. Like, I like country music. Country music, they also tell stories, but rock music and what was that? EDM, that do. I feel like you have to be on drugs to enjoy that music. Like, I feel like you got to be turned up. Like, you either need to be very drunk or you need to be high to enjoy that music.
Which genre was Black Eyed Peas doing?
Pop music. They were pop stars. I'd say, yeah.
Because I was about to say, because I used to love boom, boom, pow. In my head, I'm like, okay, is he not talking about?
No. That's pop music. Okay. Pop music is your Rihanna, your Black Eyed Peas, your like those are your, like, I'll say, your Miley Cyruses, I'm trying to think of more black pop stars. Justin Bieber, I would also say, is a pop star. I'd say Drake is a hip hop star. I'll never take away, but I feel like his influence on pop music can't be denied. Songs like Hotline Bling, like those songs are poppy songs. You know what I'm saying? So, pop music, I rock with pop music to a certain degree. I feel like it's a bit watered down. So because they want to make it a bit more commercial to the masses, but I rock with pop music, but I rock heavy metal, EDM, all them songs that sound like I either need to be angry or high or very drunk to listen to. I won't even lie. And I pray my Zulu and my KZN people don't hate me for this. Go music is not the one, guys. It's too much for me personally. I'm not saying it's not a bad genre. It's a beautiful genre. Please don't misquote me. Gom music personally is
you mean gom?
Gom. Boom.
Aye, but I love it.
It's literally African heavy rock music.
It's South African.
It's South African.
Yes.
And as I'm saying, it's the culture. But that part of the culture is too loud for me.
I love Bebzo Zuma because of that.
Yeah. I love her energy.
I
love her energy. Don't get me wrong.
She gave me the right way, you know.
For me, I love her energy. I love the dance. I love the energy, like the actual sound of it.
Yeah, actually, you're not a loud person.
I'm not a loud person. So loud people, spaces. And I talk.
That's
but
me,
I won't be as
you
interactive.
talk, but you're not. Yeah, no, I get it.
So
but are you gonna release a piano? Because that's
definitely.
like a signature.
So funny enough, we actually were working on a fusion of Afro and piano music.
Someone said there's something like that nowadays.
And Afro piano music is gorgeous because it still gives you those melodies where you can tell the stories of the way Afro beats and Afro music is supposed to be told, but you can still get the energy, the drums, the hype of the piano music. So that's where if you're using the lock drum there, and it trust me, what we've done, the music that you guys are going to hear from us, it's going to be sonically so beautiful because it's giving you all the energy with all of the melody. And once you put those two things in the room together,
what do you call that genre when it's like both?
I said I call it Afro piano. I feel like it's Afro piano. I would call it Afro piano.
We have a name for it.
Yeah, there is a.
So meaning you would never do likompo. I need to team you up with Shandesh.
I think the thing is, I need to understand the culture behind it. Because you know the one thing is when you don't understand what's being said to you, it sometimes sounds the same. So sometimes I've caught myself listening to Kom songs and I'm like, I've heard this song 3-4 times before. The progression, the chords, the drum pattern. I'm like, I'm listening to the same song over and over. So that's the problem.
Even if it's different.
So sometimes it comes down to a communication and a language barrier and a cultural barrier that you might not understand it so much. And that's the truth of me.
You think it's just one song, even though it's a different song.
It's a different song.
Okay, you have a point there because I've actually came across that and I was like, okay, no, this is not the song, but it starts the same.
Yes.
But when it's starting, you're like, okay, this is, and you sing along to that song,
and then
it's something else, and you're like, okay, where was I?
I don't feel like music is supposed to be like that. Like I feel like,
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would never hear a Davido start a song the same way Burna Boy starts a song. You get me?
I see.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like it becomes very tricky now because a lot of artists, because they're trying to replicate a formula of success or a formula that generates money. Yeah. I think it's a money making formula, which I guess if you equate money making to success. But I feel like they develop a formula that they see works for them to create a livelihood and then they run with it. But it kills the creativity
of the whole thing.
It kills the
longevity as well.
It kills the longevity of it because then you realize you have songs that are hot for a month or like that little 2-week span when it's hot on TikTok and then it disappears. And you never hear it because somebody else made another song that sounds exactly like it. You know, so I'm a big fan of the people that are making music that transcends, music that really sounds sonically so different. Like, especially if it resonates. Yeah, for me, it's to be an artist is to stretch the limits of creativity, of storytelling, of the passion that you invoke, and I want to see more of that in the music. If I'm being honest, yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Hey, we did this, guys.
Yeah, we've talked. Actually, we've
for 3 seconds, like we had like everything and just
short space of time. That's why it's good to know what you are saying, because then you now don't go. You get straight to your point. Yeah.
No problem is that I talk too much. Me, when I talk, sometimes I forget. If I'm being recorded, I'm like, what did I just say?
No, you can't move like because then they'll find you and you will trend and they'll be like,
and it's not that trending for those things.
It's not. It's really not.
So would you say that if you want to be an artist, is it a good thing to know how to write music as well? Or even if you don't know, but you just have a passion for it? Because, for example, I want to make songs as well, but I can't write music.
I feel you.
I don't think I can write music though.
I feel like it's like anything in life, it's a talent you can develop.
I
feel like it's a talent.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like even with music writing, it's a talent you can develop as long as you have something genuine you want to say. But for me as well, like you find a lot of people and a lot of artists that don't write a lot of their own music. And for me, that's okay because sometimes it's the delivery of how it's said. And that's what maybe you need to work on if you don't want to be a writer. It's can you dance like a Chris Brown or a Babes Wodumo or a Beyonce? Because don't get me wrong, Chris Brown and Beyonce might not be the best examples because maybe they do write their music, but do you have an X factor outside of just
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you have two colors on your face?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. What makes exactly that? What makes you different? What makes you different? So for me, a Burna Boy is one of the most incredible performers we've ever seen. Like that guy, if you go to his performance, you get your money's worth. You know that I'm going to see Burna Boy. He's going to dance. He's going to sweat. He's going to kick in the air, and I'm going to enjoy myself. So I'm going there for that. So you must know what you're going for. Because I feel like a lot of hip hop artists, you go to their shows and all they do is jump on stage. Not to say that's a bad thing. But that's just genuinely what they've always done. So for me, it's now like, okay, if you're not even writing your own music, and I go to your performance and your performance
you're not even
whack,
dancing.
no, you're like, so then what am I really rocking the shoe for? You know, you get me, man.
I see.
So it's those kind of things that, from my personal opinion and my views, it has to make sense. It just has to make sense how you do it. Yeah.
I get me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for arriving here and
no,
coming.
it's big love. It's big
And
love.
then
Thank you.
besides the song that's coming out in July,
Yeah.
what else people must expect and stuff
Fashion.
like
The
that?
Tiani brand is going to be dropping some beautiful new collections.
Wait, are you Tonga?
No. But the name Tiani is not Tonga by it's Bantu origin and Tiani. Yes, it is Tonga as well. But if you look at Tiani as its original meaning, it's actually from Bantu origin. It means strength and resilience.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's still the same meaning,
Hence I'm
even
saying.
in
But
the thing.
we as people, and that's why I don't get tribalism and cultural divide, because we were all one people. And that's why you find, even with a lot of languages, it's that you maybe replace one letter, and maybe you don't use L's and you use R's instead of L's, or L's instead of R's. But a lot of our languages are similar, and a lot of meaning behind our names, behind our culture, behind our practices, behind our food are the same, because we were the same people. And then you have to now look at how prehistorically we were as a people, that we come from Shaka Zulu, who would go into different regions and take the women and the cattle from different regions when he conquered. And of course, the women are going to carry through the names, the culture, the traditions. So what we don't realize is that even in the Bantu migration, a lot of us are coming from the same group of people that have just diversified and spread themselves out over the region. But the truth is, we are one people.
We are one people. Same as us vendors. Apparently, we originated from Shona, from Zim, I think.
Have you ever...
And then Tongas from Mozambique.
Yes. Have you ever heard
they're
a Shona
similar.
person speak?
Yes, I can
And
hear
it's-
them.
You can exactly.
Yes, I can.
The same way I can
I
hear
can.
vendor people speak. It's because our languages are very, very similar. Very similar.
Because this friend of mine is Shona, so he said that when you speak vendor, it sounds like a child trying to speak Shona.
Exactly. And similarly so.
Yes.
But that's just how we are as a people. So sometimes
We are one.
we are one. Like, we are one people, 100%.
No, I hear you. Thank you so much for coming,
Thank you for having
for
me.
honoring the invite. Yo,
I'm a
you know
man
how
of
hard
my
it is
word.
to get you guys to come here.
I'm a man of my word.
No, but you did arrive. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you so
and
much.
I'm definitely gonna come and
Definitely.
model for the beautiful outfits
promise you.
there, and I'm so happy. I can't wait
Thank you so much.
to have my own PCC. I'm not gonna say PCC.
Pieces. Very soon. Thank you so much.
All right. No, thank you. So this is how we close it. Thank you guys for watching as well. Do comment and like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being faithful. I see you guys subscribing, and that makes me happy. I mean, when you subscribe, we grow. So tell your friends and your friends' friends and your enemy and your enemy's enemy and everyone else to come this side and listen to what Master Tino said. Like, he really gave us everything, guys. If you don't, you must hear my dad. Learn from other people's mistakes. Very important lesson. So thank you guys for watching. And this is how we close. So when we close, we say what you gonna do about it, and we all say nothing.
Okay.
I don't know if that will.
So like 3, 2, 1.
Okay. What you gonna do about it?
3, 2, 1.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hey. Like, how am I supposed to
3,
know?
2, 1.
What you gonna do about it?
Nothing.